You.
All right, now to that. Said all the way to the Supreme Court of the United States. As I said, think Bush Gore on steroids. With me now, Fox News legal analyst Tamara Holder. Tamara, play this out for me. What happens?
Well, basically, let me just make this clear. The Department of Justice, they filed two papers. They filed the complaint, and then they also filed the preliminary injunction. And all the court said here was that we believe that the court will rule on the complaint that that preemption applies, that the federal government is in control of this, not the state of Arizona. So the court here was not overturning anything. The court just stayed the law from coming into effect yesterday or today.
Okay, so Tamara, as we're looking, guys, we got a lot of protests there today. I assume we have stuff of this here. But a lot of these folks, they seem, especially the protesters who felt that the judge did the right thing by watering this down, if not virtually killing it. Of course, as you point out, that's not the case. It just sort of pushes it back. Are they getting ahead of themselves or what? I mean, what is your sense of how strict legal jurists would look at this, that on a state versus federal issue, state always loses because it is a federal issue?
Well, I think here that people are getting ahead of themselves. I think that the judge actually just made a safe move. The judge said, I'm not going to make a determination. I'm just going to put this on hold for the courts to actually decide the legality of this case, because it looks like to me that the federal rules or the federal laws apply here, that this is an issue of a federal issue, not for the state to determine. So the people are protesting, I think, a little too early, and it's really scary because there's so much anger here. And one of the things that the judge actually pointed out, Neil, was that the public interest outweighs the state's interest. And these protests are proof of that. People are angry. People are mad. We have
but people are angry. People are angry and mad on both sides, right? I mean, there are also other protesters saying we have every right to police our borders, and you have no right to say we don't. And so it's like a you-know-what kind of match, you know, and it gets to be where you just throw up your arms and say, gee, who's on first here?
Right. Well, that's why this judge did not make a determination on the face of the law. All the judge did was say, I'm holding back until there's a decision on the actual constitutionality of the law itself,
Tamara, then what
the framework of the law.
Then what about, I talked to Sheriff Joe Arpaio, of course, who's sort of persona non grata among those who hate this law community. And he was saying, Neil, I haven't changed anything. I am still going after and gathering up people who have illegally gotten here. I'm not citing them or targeting them on the basis of their color, but I'm still doing my thing, regardless of what this judge ruled. Does he risk legal action as a result of this? Because even prior to this law, he was doing this.
Oh, yeah. And actually, I went to the University of Arizona, and I've heard about people already getting pulled over for no reason, and their papers are being demanded. But in Tucson alone, there are 37,000 arrests a year in Tucson. So what are we going to do? Are we going to pull everybody over, those 37 people, and demand that 37,000 people, and demand that they show us their papers? And is this sheriff now going to, take people into custody because he thinks they're illegal? He is exposing the entire state to legal action, major damages. He's been warned, and he should be very careful about what he does because he is not the lawmaker here.
Well, he hasn't changed, so we'll see what happens. But Tamara, very good points. All a big mess, certainly. Thank you very much. All right, Did you hear this